while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire.
Hey guys, Drewski here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the VTOLs in Arma 3 Apex. We're going to be kind of going over them in particular and comparing them and kind of showing their strengths and weaknesses on both sides. So pretty much, as you can definitely see, the NATO VTOL is much bigger than the CSAT VTOL, and the CSAT VTOL is known for being the more nimble, the more agile or mobile one, while the NATO is meant for packing a little bit bigger of a punch for ground suppression, and also is able to carry a lot more people if you do have the infantry variant, or carry a lot more vehicles if you do have the vehicle variant. The CSAT VTOL is not nearly as big. It's actually probably half the length and about 1/3 of wingspan of the V44 VTOL over there. So as you can see, this one is armed with these, I think these are scalpel missiles. It's armed with 8 with both sides, so it's 4 and 4 on the other side. It's also armed with these Hydras and also armed with the gun in the front. And then the V44 is armed with the big cannons on it. So we're going to be kind of comparing the both, flying them around, and kind of just making a chill video of me just kind of exploring how they work. Because I haven't really gotten to fly them a lot. I've flown them in test missions and live streams and such, but I haven't really gone and looked at it. So I learned something about the seats. The seats are kind of odd on this V44. There's a pilot seat, there's a co-pilot seat as usual, but then the gunner seats are kind of odd. The two guns on the outside here, the large, I don't know what, like 120 or 105, I don't know what this is, and the Gatling gun here are both armed or used by one man. They're both the same seat. But then the center gun is used by only one man. So just do know that it can take a 4-man crew to fly this entire thing, use all the weapon systems and all that safely. Now you could take out a co-pilot, or you could have a person switching seats in here, so you could actually fly this just with 2 people, but I would recommend having a co-pilot with it because it is a pretty big cockpit. It is pretty easy to get shot up there, and you might get taken out. And as well as if you have 2 people on these, then you've got a lot of firepower that's just ready to rock at any moment. Definitely, I love using this big cannon in while this cannon's being reloaded, using the Gatling gun to kind of suppress. It's a really cool system, and I hope to get some like gameplay of that later on. But we're gonna fly this first because this is what I can do by myself. It's pretty simple. It does have a more friendly pilot, or like one-seater type of craft mode, which you can use. It's better for one person, I guess I could say. The V44 over there is not good for one person because you would have to switch seats to fire, but then the Y-32 Xi'an can be fired and flown from the gunner seat. It can also be fired and flown from the pilot seat. So you can have one person that pretty much does everything in this aircraft, which is pretty nice. It's not as effective as having 2, but I recommend just hopping into the gunner seat here and moving the gun down a little bit first. But then what you're going to do is you're going to take controls. And here we can actually take control of the aircraft and begin to fly it from the gunner seat, which is pretty dang effective in my opinion. I feel like this is a really effective way to fly the aircraft in the game, especially when it's like a helicopter type of aircraft. How one person can just fly the entire system, as well as they can, you know, go into the little thermal imaging mode here. You can go into thermals, you can see guys on the ground and such. It isn't as effective because you will get some tunnel vision when going into targets, but it still is, you know, something you can definitely do. And no, I don't want to eject, I just want to switch weapons. For some reason, I think my enhanced interaction keys, one of them is F. Like, why would it be F? Why? Why would it be F? No, I don't want to eject. Okay. So we're going to place some Ifrits on the ground here, and we're going to be testing them out, just using the Skyfires. Honestly, I could compare this vehicle with its armament right now to pretty much a Cashman. It honestly works like a Cashman. It has the same weapons as a Cashman, and all it really is different is that it has a fixed wing mode, which is the sole difference, which is good for any people that are really comfortable using any CSAT aircraft, because the Cashman is a really well used, very common aircraft in the CSAT faction, and when you're going to be just switching from that to this, there's honestly not that much of a difference. You know, you're going to be flying a Cashman, you're going to be flying a half Cashman, half plane now, and that's all that's really the difference. You can just go faster. But as you can see, we can actually go into a helicopter mode pretty far off from the area that we're going to be locking onto targets with, and we can start locking on pretty far away. Hopefully they get into our view distance soon enough. Okay, there's one right there, for example, and we can fire on him. Fired a scalpel on him. We can switch to Skyfires now and engage this guy below. I can't really get a good shot because I'm on mouse and keyboard at the moment, but let's see if we can get a good shot. Oh, that didn't really work. Oh, wait, it did. It did. We took out his tires. We took out his tires. Man, that new targeting system is awesome. Yeah, look at that. Okay, we didn't do that amazing, but we were still able to get some hits. Is my joystick working? No, my joystick buttons are not set. That's why I'm having to go to my keyboard to fire these weapons sometimes. But as you can tell, it's a pretty effective weapon system. You can also switch to your cannon here, and you've got that 30mm. It is an awesome cannon. This is the same gun that's used on the Cashman, and as you guys know, it is a... Oh, I'm flying my gears down. It is a very explosive gun. It is a high explosive round that you're shooting out of this thing whenever you fire it. So we can just shoot into this forest here, have you guys take a look at that. It's a slow firing but extremely heavy round whenever it hits something like those ground over there. You can see the big puffs of smoke when those high explosive rounds exploded. It is an awesome aircraft to fly. I really do like the Xi'an. It's definitely my favorite. I know a lot of people do like these VTOLs as well. See if we can hit something from this far. I don't really know if we can. But oh man, this is tough with the mouse and keyboard. I'm totally not used to mouse and keyboard right now. And we hit that target right on. That was nice. Alright, so we're going to do some landings now. And we're going to just show you how quickly we can do landings in small areas. I'm going to go over here because this direction has a little bit more trees and such. Oops, we're still in helicopter mode. Now we're going out of it. Okay, so we're just going to do some basic landings over in this area. I'm going to go into a vectoring right now and just go land. And this honestly is pretty simple. You actually have a lot more awareness from the gunner seat as well, is what I've noticed. Flying in the pilot seat, you have a lot less armor around, or you have a lot more armor around your left and right. So I actually recommend flying in the gunner seat because the gunner seat has a lot less stuff cluttering your vision, and you can actually land this a lot easier using the gunner seat. Just know that you're a lot farther forward, so your nose is like right in front of you, so you're not going to really have much to protect you except for that nose. But this actually decreases quite slowly, not as slow as the V44, which I'll show you in a second. But if we want to just land this in this field right here, it's a pretty simple landing. It's just the same as a helicopter. If you know how to fly a helicopter in Arma 3, don't worry. The VTOLs, just like Arma 2, they're exactly the same when they're in their little helicopter mode as a helicopter. So if you're wondering if your helicopter skills are good enough to fly one of these, you'll fly them just fine. It's seriously just two modes. It's a fixed wing and then it goes into helicopter mode, and they're pretty basic. But yeah, you can land in pretty small spots. I'm trying to find a kind of small spot to land in, to be honest. There's not many around here. They're all big fields. Oh, here's a small spot right in front of me. Yeah, see, there's a small little area. See, you could even get smaller spots. Like, I'm just going to go really up close to the trees and act like this is a much smaller area. Get up right in this little spot right here. Yeah, it's a lot easier flying from the gunner seat. Let me just say that, because you have a lot more awareness in this seat than you did from the pilot seat. And there we go. Landed perfectly right in this little corner. See, you can land in these tiny spots if you really wanted to. That's the good thing about the Y32, is that you really do have a lot of places you can land in with this. We're going to go back to the airstrip now. Back into our plane mode, which made us go straight up right then for some reason. I couldn't actually pull down while that was going, which was odd. It's definitely extremely fast. It's definitely really agile whenever I'm flying it. That's the one thing I'm noticing. It's almost like more agile than a lot of aircraft, a lot of fixed wing we have. And definitely a little bit less agile than a normal helicopter when you're landing like that, but that's just because it's a VTOL, and the VTOL flight models, sorry, in most Arma games are like that anyways. Because I think these are just kind of kind of redos and re-entries of the old VTOL flight model from Arma 2. As you can see, just a few shots are what I hit right then on that. Whoa, on that ifrit. We almost hit that ifrit too with our body of our aircraft. But we actually disabled it in those few shots, which is crazy. And easy peasy landing. Cool. Alright, so we're going to release controls and then get out. We're going to go fly the V-44. Oh, we left the engine on. We'll leave it on. It's fine. But we're going to fly the V-44 Blackfish. And this is a lot fatter and a lot harder to fly by yourself. So you won't be able to fly it by yourself, but I'm just going to do some practice landings. And then I'm going to get some AI to fly for me in a mission in a second so that I can show you the gunner seats pretty much. Because there hasn't been much gunner action on YouTube. I actually saw a comment of someone saying there hasn't been much Blackfish action. And the one part of my like MLG Blackfish pilot video was the only part on YouTube that someone has seen of the actual Blackfish footage. So that's why I wanted to kind of show you guys footage today and just do a chill video just to have some fun in Arma. I like just flying around. If you guys didn't know, I sometimes just come on Chernarus and fly things for fun. Okay, we're already taking off, so you do not need a big runway. And you can take off vertically, so you actually don't need a runway at all with this. But I like taking off with runways. I feel like it's just classy. There we go. Going into full throttle right there. But this thing is a lot fatter. It can carry a lot more. It can have a lot more ground suppression, and it has tons of ammunition so you're never really going to run out, but it does land very slowly, and I'll show you in a second. Let's say we just want to land in these fields in front of us. We're going to go into a vector here, and we're going to start decreasing altitude. This thing, when it's decreasing altitude, its collective doesn't go low enough, and this was the same exact thing as the MV-22 flight model from Arma 2, in that the decreasing of altitude is extremely, I mean extremely slow with this aircraft. Like, I'm diving right now, that's why we're decreasing altitude, but you'll see in a second, once I kind of flare up about right now to go into this next valley, you'll see the decreasing altitude just it's non-existent. I'm actually raising altitude, and I'm at 0 collective right now. I'm at all the way down, and we're going to flare again, and we're just going to gain lots of altitude again. There we go, flaring again. See, this was a good approach. This was a good approach for this aircraft, and you know why? That was because it was a very shallow approach. If we approach from a steep, like let's say if I go 30 meters up and then I go straight down from 30 meters up, it's going to take forever. Let me speed up time just to show you guys that. Whoa, we went a little bit close to there. Okay, we're gonna go this direction so we can have a big open field, because I'm at ×4 speed right now, so this is gonna be super quick if I make a mistake. Okay, but let's say, like, you know, I'm at 100 meters above the ground, and I want to decrease altitude right now. We're just gonna decrease altitude, and my collective is all the way at 0. Look how slowly we're decreasing altitude. Like, this is extremely unsafe. You can get sniped at this speed. You can get rocketed by an unguided dumbfire rocket at this speed. Like, you're really giving yourself a gigantic target that is very slow moving. You're pretty much flying a whale in the air right now. And so what you want to do with something like a VTOL that lands very slowly like that, you don't want to land like that. You don't want to land like that. You want to land with very low to the ground landings. You want to be low to the ground before you get to your point, and so you don't have to decrease as much altitude before you get there. Let's just fly over this mountain range here and go over to Berezino just so I can kind of show you that type of landing. I guess we're not even in Berezino. We're in, like, the, what is this? What is that town? What is that town? Oh no, this is Zelenogorsk. Okay, I was about to say this is a much different town. Okay, but how you want to land this is that you want to go very low to the ground before you get there. So, like, let's say I'm going to land in the northern part of Berezino. I want to kind of go back into fixed wing mode for a second just so I can gain some speed. But then once we get closer to Berezino, you'll see what I want to do, which is stay very low to the ground, flare at the very end, and pretty much be in helicopter mode the entire time there so we can lose a lot of our speed before we get there. So as you can see, I'm flying very low. Not too low, because this is still like a C-130 sized aircraft, so you just know that you're not flying a Hummingbird here. So make sure to be aware of, you know, power lines and trees and such, because you are going to be flying lower with most landings. But you know what I'm saying now? You don't just want to go straight up in the air right above your objective and then just go straight down. You want to land like this. You want to land with a very shallow angle to the ground, a very small angle, an acute angle, like a acute landing path. I don't know exactly what that angle is called, like angle of aggression or something. It's not angle of attack. That's for the rotors. But as you can see here, I'm not going straight up there and then going straight down. I'm landing, still moving forwards the entire time, and then get a good landing spot right here. Now, that wasn't like an exact LZ. That was just kind of guessing and checking, so you would need to practice with your approach times. But that was a pretty simple landing, although that was kind of slow. You're going to be flying a whale, so just know that most of your landings are going to be slow with this aircraft. But luckily, although you are flying a whale, you can take off pretty quickly by going into the fixed wing mode, as long as you have some room in your field that you just land in. If you have some room, you can actually take off in the fixed wing mode, and it will move you as well too pretty quickly, so you can actually take off effectively. I don't know if we can really get past these bushes here, but let's try. Yeah, as you can see, I put into helicopter mode for a quarter second there so we could lift off, and then I just take my gears away and we're moving pretty quickly again. So that's just how to show you how quickly you can kind of take off. It's actually faster than a fixed wing would, which is quite nice. But yeah, so that is the Blackfish, and we're going to fire the Blackfish now. I'm going to go into a little AI mission that I'll make. Okay, well, since Bohemia has not really configured, and I hope they do, has not configured the pilots to understand that there's guns on the side of the aircraft and not the front, I couldn't really actually get some good gameplay. So your Blackfish MLG pilot video of mine is going to be your best bet for Blackfish gameplay at the moment. But that is pretty much the video for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the kind of comparison between the flight models of the Xi'an and the the V-44 Blackfish. Really like these two aircraft. They're really fun. I do hope that the pilots are understanding that there's guns on the left side and not the front. He acted as if we needed to attack with the guns that are armed on the front, and all we literally have is a little refueling little mail thing there. But yeah, that's pretty much the VTOLs. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time. Hostile. Oh, hello,
We made it!
No, this can't happen. No!
Yeah, get him, buddy!
Contact, man! What are you?
Oh my god, it's going down! Oh god!